Like, I got super excited here. Welcome back to the live stream and welcome back to Warframe and welcome to TENNO CON. So today we are going to be not only playing Warframe, but we're also going to be watching the event while it's going on. I still have to log into Warframe, so it's gonna take a while. Well, not too long, but I have to log in and all that stuff. So am I right? Let me log in. I don't want so much sleep yet, but I can load up their stream while I do this. Finally go for free. There's way too much going on right now. Ah! Alright. Good fortune, Hunter. There are a couple minutes.
Messages in your inbox, operator. They are not as encrypted as they should be.
And I'm gonna turn off my music. But we are good to go. Pretty much. Here we go. I think that's it. Okay, so go and you have TENNO CON in the corner. I'm going to if that's too small or what. Oh, that was from the screen. Okay. While we wait, let's see what Vero has. Nice email. Why did I go here?
Secret interplanetary communications. You are going to capture the towers and decode.
Wow, I will.
operator. Messages have arrived in your inbox.
And let me see what we have in our inbox. Okay. Alright. They say clear out your inbox. So we're gonna be getting a lot of stuff here.
Agitators defragged and optimized. Warfighting algorithms iterated and updated.
The wait is over, Tenno. Barrel Key Tier has arrived.
A replica of the archive that held the secret history of the awoken court by the historian of Horus Murray containing the talent of Hypera and the Carolina. Oh, I got 1,000 that is.
Pleasant surprise. Perhaps there's hope for you after all.
But cool. They always have such good games on the screen. One second.
Hey there, June. The devil is home and a shave popped up.
Ah,
That's
I can't.
it's just you
I
and me.
can't turn up.
Each other slow and with a long say.
One second.
Say. I'm Nora Knight. Say. You live with wolves, you better act like one.
Let me know if I'm too loud.
Nice work taking down the VIP. Now get to extraction.
And
Message arrived.
Tenno, wake up. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's do this.
ah,
It is time. Our position has been compromised.
right, let's get it.
Defend the cargo until reinforcements arrive.
Got 14 minutes till TENNO CON
Tenno.
begins. My controller's lagging a little bit. Oh, come on. Now is not the day for controller.
Move and strike. We have to win this.
Intruder terminated.
That was it.
That was a close one.
Tell me about it.
One less border.
Hello? Enemy? But I think it's well. Come on. Not now.
Intruder terminated.
What the hell? Oh god. Great. Ah, come on. Okay, now it's now not the why is it not letting me attack me? Hold on. But I'll let that live for a while. That night when it begins. It was very fun. Fight away. very strong there. Am I? I'm not looking forward to fight every time. Oh, that coming.
Get started!
Oh, now you show up.
Tube weight.
Right. I guess wait until my controller restarts to work. That should almost time.
There is a large platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing.
Oh boy. Oh. Right. Cool. Let me in. This game is against me. The game and charging forward.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Ah!
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Sorry for the woeful fitness. I want to play. Why can't I get up? Thank you. Come on. Why? Why, please? Just let him die. Seriously.
The day has begun! Oh my god, it's happening! So it is official. There's no turning back now. You have made it safely to TennoCon 2020.
Ooh, that is a nice,
See what chat's up to soon.
bet.
For the kickoff of today's Tenno Live, TennoCon, Warframe. My name is Rebecca Ford, and I'll be walking you through the next 30 minutes to give you a little bit of a look into what we're going to be doing today. And I'm joined by none other than...
It's me, it's Megan Everett. Great to see you all. I can see you in chat. You all look great. You're excited. We're excited. Let's just really quickly address, we're obviously not in our usual streaming studio. You know, this is our 7th year doing TennoCon, which is incredible. Started off a physical event, turned into a digital event in our little studio. And this year we decided to kind of go a little bit bigger, even though it's still digital. We now have a brand new stage that we're on.
Yeah, we have a stage that we made for this year. Not us personally, an amazing team.
I mean,
or maybe it was us. I don't know. We don't know. We're pretty sure. We don't know. We don't remember. But we are excited to have this. We had ambitions, you know, of doing a couple things, maybe having some staff here, but for safety, we didn't. So it's just us with the AV crew, our event crew, and everyone in Twitch chat. So welcome to the TennoCon 2020 stage. We are here, and we're kicking things off. Now, before we get really started into things, I just wanted to remind everyone that, you know, we've been making this game for so so long. Our team is made up of people from all over the world, many of which who come from Ukraine, which, as you know, has an ongoing humanitarian crisis. So we just wanted to kick things off with an opportunity for the community to help out. If you do !donate in chat, in Twitch chat, you can find yourself a link if you feel like giving something towards one of the many causes there to help. We would, I'm sure we would greatly appreciate it, and anything you can give helps. But just a moment to acknowledge that our team is indeed an international team of lovely human beings, and many of them are affected by this humanitarian crisis. So just starting off to share that little note, and then we also will go right into another bit of donation information.
Yes, so 7th year doing TennoCon, and we have been fortunate enough to support a charity here close to our heart. Obviously, we have a lot of people at DE, and a lot of people are affected by a lot of different things. And this year, I'm so grateful to say that we are supporting Inspire. And they have sent over just a little video to tell you guys kind of what they're about, and also just to say hi. So let's check it out.
Welcome to TennoCon 2022. My name is Sienna Vtuber, and I'm the Communications and Marketing Coordinator here at Inspire. This is such an exciting partnership, and we know that it'll ignite creativity and passion for digital learning in Indigenous students across Canada. Inspire is an Indigenous national charity that invests in the education of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people by providing bursaries, scholarships, and programming. For Indigenous students, a lack of funding is one of the biggest barriers to completing their post-secondary education. Building Brighter Futures is our scholarship and bursaries program, where we supply qualified applicants with funding to help with school-related costs. Rivers to Success is free programming we offer to every Indigenous student, whether they receive funding from Inspire or not. No matter where they are in their educational journey, Rivers to Success will support students along the way with access to Indigenous resources, mentors, and career guidance. When people give to Inspire, they know that their generosity is getting directly to students. We are encouraged to see how the resilience, ingenuity, and strength of Indigenous students have enabled them to succeed despite the many obstacles placed in their way. Thank you again for helping us fulfill this important mission. Have a great event, and if you want to learn more, please visit inspire.ca.
Thank you, Sienna, and everyone over at Inspire for sending that video. If you would like to donate to Inspire, you can do !donate in Twitch chat. I know they would love it, we would love it, and thank you so much for helping us help them.
Yeah, we'll be announcing our donation during Tenno Live, which is the end of TennoCon today, but we have a whole bunch of stuff to get through. Great stuff.
Yeah,
best stuff you'll ever watch, I'm sure. Or your money back. It's free. But yeah, we have a great show planned for you today. Partially pre-recorded, partially live. This part is live if you can't tell because it's going so perfectly. No nerves,
flawless.
no nothing.
Everything's great.
Is going. We're just very excited, and the road ahead is going to be filled with delights for those that want to watch the sound panel. That's right after this. We're going to be going into a pre-recorded panel that goes the sounds, the system. Marcus is hosting it this year with George, Eric, and Keith, and it'll be taking you through the behind-the-scenes look of everything pertaining to Warframe sound creation.
New War, Angels Airmen, and you're going to get your first sneak peek of Duviri soundtrack. I couldn't even say the word. I was like, wait, can I even say it? Of course I can say it.
We've been typing it only because we're still working remotely, so saying Duviri out loud is that's how you pronounce it, by the way.
Duviri. And then
do not listen to us.
Then after the sound panel, we go into a live segment. So you'll be brought back to this stage, this ambiance with myself. I am hosting, and I'm going to be joined by the incredible Pablo, Kaz, and Matt. And we're going to dive into a whole bunch of questions that were curated from previous dev streams. I've creeped some Twitters, stuff like that, grabbed some questions, and there will be an opportunity near the end of that segment for live chat questions. So if you have anything brewing.
What is live chat saying right now?
What is live chat? I see emotes, which I always love.
I got some goldfish. Someone has snacks.
Oh,
that's good.
Yeah, tell us your
that's
snack.
Good. Tenno Live.
I love it.
We got a lot of Clem. Spoiler alert? Kind of.
There are some spoilers. I mean, if you haven't played the New War, heavy spoilers. Will be, some teases. We're going to tease a little bit of what you can expect for Tenno Live, maybe. But each of the panels is going to kind of take a look back at the New War, because that's kind of the last obvious thing you saw from Tenno Live last year was the New War. So we're going to dive back into that a little bit, talk about sound, talk about mocap, and some really awesome concept art. We're going to talk about Duviri, of course. Teasers for that, getting excited for that. because that is also in the art panel as well.
Yes, this is a pre-recorded panel, and it takes you through a lot of the art deep dives, some never-before-seen reveals with our art team, things we've been working on. This pre-recorded panel will delight you right after the live Q&A, and it's going to be great. It has Danielle hosting it, Jeff, Carrie, and Eric are on it, and maybe a special.
Maybe a special. If you want to watch, beginning to end, as one would. And then after that is the community art show, and this is hosted by Helen and Skyers. I'm so excited for this. This is where, our hundreds of submissions from fan art all over the world came in, and, selected a few, and we're going to show them all off. We're also going to show dojos. We've integrated the dojo segment into it, so we're really celebrating, in-game art that is our incredible dojos, and then outside art with digital art, cosplay props. Sorry, I hit my mic.
Fine, play it up. It's cool.
Everything's
Cosplay,
fine.
dojo.
It's going to be really exciting, so definitely don't miss that. And then the big one.
Tenno Live 2022, this is our keynote finale to Tenno Con. This is where we're going to have so I don't know if we're going to be able to fit it all in an hour, but we're going to try. So we have a lot to cover. This is where you're going to learn all about the future of Warframe. We're going to have myself, Megan, I'm thinking in terms of chair organization, Scott Steve, Jeff Sheldon will be up here on stage, and we'll be talking Warframe. So if you're sitting waiting for the biggest news of the day and our live show, that'll be tonight, but there's so much to lead up to it that you don't want to miss. And maybe, you want to be a little motivated. You want to get some free stuff, so to speak. So if all of these panels are great to you, just tune in and enjoy. But if you want a little something to sweeten the deal, find yourself bringing home a cosmetic or a perhaps new weapon, this could be yours. But Megan, tell me, how do they get it?
You can get it just for simply watching. Make sure you're linked up. If you've
Let's
been
go.
receiving drops, for our dev streams, prime times, or streams this year, you do not need to relink. You are good to go. But we have some really awesome drops. So this is the Veracruz War Fan, and then also the Rinala Sugatra. You can see it attached to it. That's going to be the Tenno Con drop. So it's active right now until.
Can we confirm it's active right now? I'm going to look in chat and see if people are saying drops progress.
Drops. Can I get a drops Yale yeah in chat?
Can we get a drops in chat?
Can I get a drops in chat? I see bunches of yeses.
Oh, sweet.
you guys
Okay,
are the
that's good
best.
news. This is called live. I don't even know. It's called something.
Live QA. So yes, this is going to be the drop for the day, just for watching for 30 minutes. And then Tenno Live switches over, and you're going to get yourself a Titania Prime for watching Tenno Live for 30 minutes. And if that doesn't entice you enough, live, in-game right now, in the market, for 1 credit.
A single credit.
One single credit is the Stranger's Hood.
Ooh, I gotta get that.
Video. So we've been teasing about this, and we decided to, self-serve. Why don't you just walk on over to the market and get it yourself? So on all platforms right now. It started at 12:30. It's going to be live for 48 hours. So there's a little.
We can get it then.
We can get it.
This
I can
is
go
why
back.
it's 48 hours, because otherwise.
I can just. No, I'm just kidding. For 48 hours, it's going to be in the market. It is a operator Drifter cosmetic. If you haven't completed the new war or Second Dream, and you don't know who those people are, perhaps you will still have it in your inventory until you complete those quests, at which then you can equip it.
Yes, it's not going anywhere. It'll be there, dormant, waiting for the graceful touch of the pro gamer.
Speaking of pro gamer, wouldn't it be nice
I
to
am
have...
here, you're right.
We're built different.
I am built different.
Wouldn't it be nice to have a custom-built PC?
I would love that.
I would love that.
Oh, we have a giveaway.
We have a giveaway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're offering me a computer. No, our friends at E-Game have made this Warframe-themed PC that we'll be giving away to our first lucky winner of the day.
The Twitch picker has all the power. They are going to send this to us, and then we'll ship it to you, so it might take a hot minute to get to you, but we are just going to run the Twitch picker, and a lucky Twitch winner is going to win a WeGame PC.
And here is where we get the ultimate test, the competitive nature of whose eyes are better, Megan
my
or
contact's
Rebecca.
strong
Who has the better eye prescription? Oh, good Lord.
I think
have
I see
mercy.
it.
I see a J.
J. Oh no.
Just two Chucky?
Charlie?
Checky, just two Checky. You have won. I am cheating. Dean is in my ear. Scandal number one.
Sabotage!
No, that is
Wow.
the two Checky. You have won.
Wow.
But this is a bit of a complicated giveaway because you can't just tell us your Warframe alias. We actually need to know where you live.
Of course.
But don't just tell anyone. Just DM our Warframe Twitch channel that you're walking on right. Walking? Are you walking? Give us a bit of info there, and one of our team members will reach out to you to arrange the delivery of the PC that you just won.
Oh, I guess I could zoom in.
Oh, I
just
guess
too checky.
Just
yeah,
we can look at our
right,
phones.
though.
Well,
you
like
had
I
Dean.
said, I had Dean right here. well, that's scandal. number one.
Congratulations to you. We do have more giveaways later on during Tenno Live. There might be some physical
That was
stuff.
our warm-up one.
That was warm-up.
That was a test.
I give it a 7 out of 10.
I would say that's like a 7 out of 10 test, but nevertheless.
7 out of 10. We
Oh,
have
the
much
winner-
more in store.
The winner would probably say 10 out of 10 test.
They got 10 out of 10.
Yeah, but anyway, so that was our first giveaway. The test went well. We have lots to do.
Lots to do.
We want to see how chat's doing though more than.
Yeah, let's check in with chat. Chat, what are your snacks? Where are you watching from?
we
I'm
wanted-
always so curious.
Yeah, we want to see
I'm
what you're excited for
watching
today.
from home.
We haven't streamed in a while. At least we haven't streamed together in a while. So
No.
we're just gonna get back into the swing of things and see what chat has to say. People are watching from France.
Oh,
living in-
bonjour.
Yeah, if you do get the drifter or the stranger's hood, rather, put it on. Share a screenshot with us. We'd be curious to see your fashion with it. I'm not going to say fashion frame because that would be technically incorrect, which would be quite embarrassing. Turkey, Portugal,
Michigan.
I'm close
Right
to
around the
it.
corner.
Yeah. I don't see the Twitch drops. Refresh, check all the
Oh,
settings.
that's Oni Shinobi. I know you. Yeah, just refresh. Woo! Just refresh. You should see it. Click your little icon in the top right, and you should see some draft progress.
Greetings from Poland. Dzień dobry.
Oh, dzień dobry.
Let's see how many.
Oh, we got chips in Poland. Love
Interesting.
chips. Australia.
Brazil. Very nice.
Oh, Germany.
Where else is everyone watching from?
South America. Ontario. Love Ontario. Boston.
Watching from Washington. Oh man, in the Bronx.
The Bronx. Popping with the Bronx.
All right, what are people most excited for? Let's see what's going on in chat. Hello from India. Hello, Chile.
Chile.
I think I'm from the Philippines. You're not the only one from the Philippines. No way.
No.
Oh, what's this? Oh, from France, from England, Sweden.
Everyone, all over the place.
USA.
Oh, is that glue gun?
Yeah, that's good.
Speaking of horse, Tenno Live.
Ooh.
Live Duviri.
We are bringing a horse on this stage.
We're bringing a horse.
The hardest part of building a stage
That's
was
why we
making
built a
sure
stage.
it could fit a horse.
Could fit a horse.
But we did. We
Please
did.
do.
Yeah, so that's going to be part of Tenno Live. There's a lot more in store for Tenno Live. That is just kind of a sprinkle on the cupcake of what Tenno Live is going to be.
Yeah, and if you've never, is it your first Tenno Live chat? Tell me.
Is it your 7th? Do you have your badge?
Yes. Well, maybe, so let's see if it's people's first Tenno Lives. Maybe people recognize things on the stage. I think there's one thing that stands out as very obvious that might, be very relevant.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Also true.
Merch!
This was on my chair and I'm very excited to have it. Is it for me?
I kind of wanted it. I think Dean actually called it. I'm not going to lie.
All right.
Or maybe it's Julia.
Someone else has dibs on this, but we do have some new merch launching today as well. So if you wanted to show your Warframe merch support, we have an incredible amount of new things, including a floof desert skate and a
Bolarola. We got flute, we got t-shirts, we got a lamp, we got a whole bunch of new merch for you to check out if that is your pick.
He's got a little tooth.
And a new statue, which is very exciting.
Oh, yes. Do these ones come with the tags that have their personalities? Yes. Oh, cute.
Oh, little beanie baby moment.
Yes, that is adorable. So you might get a floof that is, afraid of the dark, or you might get one that, uses viral only builds. We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know until you tell us.
We'll never know.
Oh, someone's
Canada.
watching. Canada. TennoCon number 4 for me.
Oh, welcome.
Nice.
Obviously, we wish we could be doing a physical event again. We, to kind of backstory of TennoCon, Tenno Live, we start planning this obviously very early.
We sure do.
And we have to make that call. Is it going to be digital? Is it going to be physical? Because there's a lot of prep both ways. And with how everything was going at the beginning of the year, we just kind of said, let's just make it digital. Let's just call it. And, we were going to have a DE presence here. And unfortunately, we also had to cancel that as well just because of what's going on. But we're back with a digital event.
Is this part of the stream where we talk about all the things that have happened in the past 10 hours, or will people not believe us?
Would you like to know what we've experienced?
It's 8 p.m. We're getting ready. The build's ready for our live demo, because as you know, we do a live gameplay demo, which is what we're ending the show with this year. And all of a sudden, the internet stops working.
Oh, that was
Rogers did go down last Friday for almost 24 hours, so we're thinking, has something horrible gone wrong? And sure enough, there was a hardware failure with our ISP, and we couldn't do anything for 6 hours the night before TennoCon. So but we pulled it together. Our IT team came up with some alts so we could, get connectivity by other means, and we managed to do some stuff, but it has been absolutely crazy TennoCon. I can't think of a time where we've had so many little things just outside of our control change the prep for TennoCon.
Yeah, I
and
think that was one of the more frustrating things is like we've had issues before where like our own
that are
build
totally our
doesn't
fault.
work, totally our
we
fault.
love when we're at fault.
Yeah,
it's the best.
we can
because
fix those.
It feels good when you fix your own problems, but when you're just at the mercy of, you know, the actual hard line cut to your ISP, all those fun things. But we made it, and we're here, and hopefully everything is going well so far. We are encouraging people to get in game. Audio, visual sounds good. We're really getting ourselves in gear to kick off the, you know.
Oh, a great question in chat about the Deviri Amphitheater. So that is going to go live at 5, basically when Tenno Live starts at 5 p.m. So if you're logging into the game, if you are a digital ticket holder and you have access to Barrow Katir, you're going to see the TennoCon relay, check out his wares, you know, buy whatever you'd like. But the Deviri Amphitheater itself, which will also be on Earth, its own little node, will appear around 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and you are going to want to be in that amphitheater right away. Get your spot. You're going to get, I don't know, probably roughly 20-30 minutes to kind of run around, maybe take some screenshots. Tenno Live is going to be happening, so you know, you could run around in the Deviri Amphitheater, experience that, because it's going to be your first step into Deviri.
Yes, we're giving you a preview of what Deviri is going to bring, and for relative time, it's just over 4 hours from now. The Deviri Amphitheater will be live in-game on all platforms. So at that time, you're going to go to Earth, like Megan said, and it'll be there for you. But until then.
How could
resource booster that's there's a whole bunch of stuff in game that you can participate in. Obviously, you get your Stranger's Hood, but the Deviri Amphitheater is very important. You're going to want to be in there when Tenno Live starts, and especially when we're
doing the live gameplay
doing
demo.
the live
We
gameplay
have a fun, well, it's called Amphitheater, so I'm sure you can figure it out. But we have a very fun way of showing and getting an interactive component to our Tenno Live show, because we started doing this when COVID initially had us close up shop for the live event, and that was 2020, so that was 2 years ago. We did the Demos showcase rooms, and we're just bringing more of that energy to the live performance, so you folks at home can actually feel like you're in a theater with everyone else. So we're very excited for that.
Yeah, I think the past couple of TennoCons we've done, you know, a relay and also a relay experience.
And
this
we've
year,
had some learnings from those.
Last year was a bit of a rough one.
we don't claim to be without flaw, but we try.
We are
real hard.
We are but human.
Yeah, but we have a lot of measures in place since last year to make sure that this is a day where we can work through any surprises as best we can, which will be, you know, that's where the day goes from here, right? It's seeing what chat's been up to, seeing if people have any questions about things going on in game, while everyone's getting comfortable watching the panels, getting ready to, you know, get their questions ready, get ready for that end show for Tenno Live, where we're really going to be taking you through the future of Warframe in the most exciting and mind-blowing ways possible. You're going to be treated to a full hour of what we've been up to, what has been going on with Warframe since the new war launch.
Yeah.
What can you expect? All of these and more will be at the end of the show tonight. So really, you know, and you know what, if you have to go, maybe you're gonna get called, it's a Saturday, one of your friends has good weather and you gotta go, you know, out. I don't know, can't relate, but it'll be on YouTube after, so, you know. We'd love for you to be there, but there will, of course, be an upload after of the show in case you miss it, so don't feel quite so, you know, bad if you miss out on a reveal, but we'd love to have you there live, especially for the in-game component. So update your game now, because, you know,
you never know.
You never know.
And there's going to be, you know, a couple teases, like I mentioned, throughout the day on various panels that might come a bit more information during Tenno Live, so you'll want to kind of, you know, pay attention, spot those. It's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, and now it's like the point where, okay, we've given you all the information without actually telling you what we're going to show. So it's chat just like, come on,
I know,
get the show
it's
going,
very
let's
torturous.
See.
I apologize.
The drop is exclusive to the live event, so you will surely need to be there for the drop. But the information will be up on YouTube after. What else do we got going on? We got it. Ooh, very good.
The amphitheater will be on Earth, so you can expect to check it out there at 5 p.m. Eastern Time when Tenno Live starts. The theater will be there, and you can log in and jump in there.
I see some speculation about the next Prime Warframe. Perhaps we'll have information on that.
Perhaps.
What else do we got? Let's see what chat's been up to. We're just looking down at our phones. This is like a real experience. It's like we're all in a room together where we just sit and look at our phones.
Just hanging out, looking at you. You look great.
Thank you.
We have some serious speculation on the next Prime.
How do I see the drop? If you've been watching, I've been sitting on the Warframe page, which is cool if you were, before it starts, you might need to just refresh the stream and it will pop up. Sometimes when you're just kind of idly sitting on the Twitch page, it needs a bit to propagate. Yes. So if you want to refresh, you should be able to see it. If not, you can, I believe it's click your icon in the top right and go to drops and you should see it there.
Oh, I just see people guessing the prime, and I'm reminded of some of the bingo cards people are making.
Oh, anyone got a bingo card?
Yeah, no bingos yet, I'm afraid. But given the energy in chat right now, it's probably time to give one of you a. Why don't we do a prime access?
Oh, some Garuda prime access.
Garuda prime access. We're
Last
going to give
chance,
away
baby.
a Garuda prime access because you may or may not know Garuda prime access leaves today.
I wonder why she would leave
I wonder
today.
why she would leave today.
That's so rude of her to leave.
I know.
During
that is her
TennoCon
way,
10
though.
Live.
Rip your heart out and walk away. That's.
Oh.
Oh, we have a winner, and the winner is none other
Carvico.
than.
Did I get
Damn,
it?
that was good. Is it good? Is it Carvico?
Dean, give me a thumbs up.
Oh, Carico. There's no V.
Dang it.
Oh, unfortunately, both of us must visit the
I am sad.
optometrist shortly after.
What was it, Carvico?
Carico has won Garuda Prime Access. This is yours. You have to message us on our Twitch page that you're watching right now to claim it. We just need to know what platform you're on and your username so we can hook you up with your Garuda Prime Access. You may have just won the last Garuda Prime Access we will give away.
Who knows? Maybe I'll do one on the Dev Live Q&A. Maybe. Who knows? But
Interesting.
maybe.
Interesting.
We'll see. I saw a question about what's the drop. It is the new Veracruz, Warfan, and Sugatra for watching Tenno Con. And then Tenno Live is Titania Prime. You know, if you already have Titania Prime, that's great.
A free slot.
A free slot. What's wrong with a free slot, you know?
Or you can have 2 Titania Primes.
Ooh,
Can't
I
feed
like
primes
that.
to your helmet, though. So, you know, you'll just have to have her.
Stockpile it.
Maybe there's, you know, actually, no, you can't feed primes to the helmet. Helmet Prime, maybe that's a reveal. Anyone have that on their bingo card?
Oh.
It's not real.
No, it's not real.
It's not real. I made it up.
Don't even get your
We got a GG's. Oh, people are being gracious to the winner of the Garuda Prime. That's lovely.
Oh, you guys are too kind.
Titania and Titania Beef. That's very clever.
was
Say hello to the whole world. Hello to the whole world. You are here for Tenno Con 2022. We can't believe the day has come. We have been planning this for so long, and we hope that you are going to enjoy the endless sources of information that follow our housekeeping here. And I think we've gone over the main points.
I think we got everything. We can really quickly recap what the day is going to be. So right after this, you're going to go into the Sounds of the System panel with Marcus, George, Eric, and Keith Power, the legend in the Warframe world for doing soundtrack. So you're going to experience that. It is a pre-recorded panel. They have some really great insight, like we mentioned, about New War, Angels of Zariman, and of course Duviri. Marcus actually plays a really fun game with them, which I won't spoil anything, but I was very impressed with their answers. So it's a very fun, little interactive. And then we go into the Dev Q&A with myself. It will be live on this stage. I will be joined by Pablo, Kaz, and Matt. We have some perspective from game design, from weapons lead, from art director. So we got a whole bunch of different questions based on, again, the New War, Angels of Zariman, Duviri. Duviri one is obviously going to be.
Oh my God. Megan has an alarm set. She's done with me. She's like, that's my threshold.
Dean told me to make an alarm because we got to go. We got 1 minute left. This is the schedule. Live Dev Q&A, and then of course the Art of Warframe panel. There's some juicy concepts in there, maybe a little bit of mocap, never before seen stuff. Community art show, Helen and Skyers will be incredible. And then of course Tenno Live 2022.
Yes, this is where we will have all the seats filled. You're probably wondering, who are these chairs for? But maybe you already know. Yeah, the floofs. We're not going to let Steve and the gang sit there because they're taken. But yes, we will be back with a full squad at 5 p.m. here for Tenno Live, where we will be doing the future of Warframe. You're going to learn and see the live gameplay demo. So I need to stop my sweaty palms immediately because
no pressure.
No
You're
pressure.
Gonna kill it.
We're
kill it every
live
game.
gameplay. Nothing could go wrong.
No,
But
nothing
anyway,
will go wrong.
Let's roll on over now. Enjoy the sound panel. Thank you very much for tuning into housekeeping. This has been Rebecca and
Megan,
and we are gonna go and let you enjoy the sound panel.
See you in a bit.
We won't keep you waiting.
Bye, guys. Hey, everybody. Megan here to let you know that by watching this year's show on Twitch, you're going to earn yourself some incredible free items if you have your Warframe and Twitch account linked. Watching Tenno Con until 5 p.m. Eastern Time for 30 consecutive minutes will reward you with both the Veracruz Warfan and the Renala Sugatra. But that's not all. Tune into Tenno Live between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Time for another 30 consecutive minutes, and you're going to earn yourself a free Titania Prime. That's right, a free Prime Warframe. If you already have your Twitch account and your Warframe account linked and received drops before on Warframe streams, then you're all set. But if you've never linked your Warframe and Twitch account together, simply go on over to warframe.com/Twitch, log into your Warframe account, and follow the simple instructions to get set up. And that's it. Enjoy the show.
Wake up, Tenno. Pre-order today at store.warframe.com.
Yeah, we got though. Oh. I love it. Wait, that's a PC? No. Wait, what?
Well, I think like that was the moment probably when we wanted to really lean in on what an environment could do for the game. And you know, you're going from smaller scenes like, you know, Grineer Asteroid and how that feels tight and contained, and then you go into Plains of Eidolon, the doors open up, and then there is a world above and beyond. And there's an awful lot of design that winds up going into it, so at that point, being able to run around in a video game on a large piece of terrain was, you know, not that novel, but it was novel to do within Warframe. So if there weren't the familiar Grineer Marines and some of the iconic bits and pieces of architecture and whatever we could wind up fitting into it, you know, like that's how you made it feel like you were within the Warframe universe. And we're exploring some brave new territory for us, which is
oh wow,
a bit of an intimidating thing, but it worked out,
wow.
which is great.
Okay.
I also come from an area of the province which people say is rocks and trees, rocks and trees, rocks and trees. So I knew the subject matter. The world building is kind of, that's kind of the meat and potatoes of it as much as we can do. And then after that, it's like trying to have a sense of locality within that space. So things that are like little local pockets and memorable bits. That is the moment where if you do systems level thinking, it becomes a whole. And that actually is the thing that the person experiences. I could talk about the hundreds of small things that go into that. The foliage, the terrain textures, how you make a tree, how you make water actually sit with atmosphere. Like even artistically as opposed to technically, like if you make a heavy use of value and saturation in one part over here, that can draw the attention of the entire level, which is not necessarily something we need. You know, we need to guide people from point A to point B to point C. If you use up all of those resources with the one cool thing over there, people make a beeline to it and they don't experience half of it. If you wind up having it pull apart in front of you consciously, your walk into it experience should not have you do that. You should feel like you were just in a world in Warframe that is new and different. So the fact that we actually did that, where people were able to open gates and still feel like they were in Warframe, that's probably the biggest thing.
Hey Tenno, Danny here. We're getting so much closer to unveiling some incredible surprises. Tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll be opening up the Duviri Amphitheater orbiting Earth in-game. Join your fellow Tenno for an up-close and very unique experience during the Tenno Live presentation. As a special thank you for joining us for Tenno Con today, for the next 48 hours, you can claim a special operator and drifter cosmetic, the Stranger's Hood. This exclusive cosmetic is available right now on all platforms in the in-game market for 1 credit. Be sure to log in and claim yours. Bye, Tenno.
Thank you, Danny. What? That thing is about to thing. Nice shot. Oh, I got it all.
This is by far the biggest group of students I have seen come to class. Thank you so much for rocking out to TENNO CON 2022. My name is Gemma Laurel. I had the absolute privilege of voicing for Cephalon Melika. I can honestly say that the Warframe community is the best in video games, so have an awesome one and be great to each other.
Hi Tenno, I'm Maya Grant and I play Archimedean Yonta. It was a pleasure to voice the character and I'm so grateful for you for playing. Thank you so much and have an amazing TennoCon. Goodbye for now.
it isn't my favorite grubber. I'm Brent Mukai, the voice of Cavallero. And I hope your Tenno Con is, enjoyable. That's it, right? That's all I gotta say? Perfect. Oh, and will someone just give me a damn Kubro already? Is that too much to ask?
Greetings, Tenno. So good to see all of you again.
Hey guys, my name's Kara Volchov. I voice Hombask. I just wanted to say hi and let each and every one of you know how thrilled I am to be part of Warframe. Enjoy TennoCon Con 2022.
Hi, it's David Ottavino, voice of the husband in the Zeraman ARG. Just making a quick video to say happy TennoCon. What could go wrong? Please, someone help open this door. It's jammed and I have to pee. How long have I been trapped in this booth of anguish as the stench fills my nostrils because I wet my pants? Happy TennoCon, my angels.
Hey Tenno, my name is Capitano and I voice Kira in the Warframe ARG. Some of you may have known her as Zeri-chan or Cephalon Fog. I don't know, who cares? Anyways, I really appreciate you for finding all those logs and I really hope you have a great day.
Oh.
Bye.
Hey there, Tenno. I'm Calvin Joyle, the voice of Viso, or Vico, or Tico, depending on who you ask. The Warframe community is genuinely one of the kindest gaming communities I've ever encountered, and your sweet comments about Viso mean so much to me. Have a great TennoCon, or profit.
Hey Tenno, this is Adam Bennett, the voice of Call 175. Wishing everyone watching a happy TennoCon, and from the bottom of my heart, thanks to all of you for your love and for your support.
Hola, Tenno. It's me, Varcia. Remember me? Amiguitos, it's me, Gigi Saul Guerrero. A big hello all the way from Vancouver, Canada. Queridos Tennos, I hope you guys have an amazing time at TennoCon. Sending a big hello, and it's like Varcia says, let's shake the walls. Ow!
Hi, I'm Davenant Doyle, aka Captain Vala Glarios. I'm so happy to be here with you today. Hope you're enjoying yourself. I have one thing to sing to you. Sisters below, we're going where the winds don't blow. Yeah, we're all bound down in the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below. Sleeping in the cold below.
Ooh, that's good.
Enjoy.
How about
Hello
that?
everyone, and welcome to the TennoCon 2022 Sounds of the System panel. This is a pre-recorded panel, and my name is Marcus Kretz. I work here at Digital Extremes. I am a senior community coordinator, and for the next hour, we'll be taking a deep dive into all things sound design, music, dialogue, and Warframe. Now, this is a general spoiler alert for anyone who has been playing through Warframe. If you have not completed the main storyline content for Warframe yet, there will be heavy spoilers ahead. Specifically for the new war quest and for the Angels of the Zeraman update. So you have been warned, heavy spoilers ahead. Now, without further ado, I would love to introduce the panelists that are joining me today. I'm very honored to be joined by three incredible people. First up, we have George Spanos, audio director for Warframe. George, how's it going?
Good, good. How is everyone doing?
Doing great, doing great.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. We also have Eric Preston, lead sound designer.
Hello, happy to be here and happy to talk about the sounds of Warframe.
Yeah, we love it. Thanks for being here, Eric. And one of our favorite composers, Keith Power. Thank you for joining us again this year. Great to have you.
Oh, so very happy to be here.
Yeah,
man. It's nice to see you guys.
Yeah, it's great. Honestly, it's been so long. I mean, this is the first time I've seen Eric and George in 2 years in person, so it's incredible how time has just flown by. And speaking of which, in terms of the audio team, you know, operationally, are you guys still working from home, or have you been able to come back into the office?
It's still mostly from home. It's, you know, we built a new sound studio, and so we've trying to been, you know, coming in now and then to kind of use it, and that, you know, recording some Foley and doing some voice stuff and that kind of thing. But it's mostly from home right now, and hopefully soon-ish we'll get back in all together, because yeah, it'd be great to see the whole team day in and day out instead of over a screen and a camera. So,
Keith, I'm pretty sure you're still working from home, correct? That's That's your studio in the back there?
Well, I commute every day, and it's about a 30-second commute.
Right.
I walk from the house through my yard, and and then I'm here. So it's more of the same. I've been working from home for many years, and I'm gonna probably keep that up. I like it that way.
Nice. Yeah, that 30-second commute probably can't be beat. So no, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. Very nice. Well, it's been an incredible year for Warframe. Looking back, the amount that's been achieved in the past year really can't be overstated. But really, I have to start with going back to the new war. After 8 years of Warframe, it was the longest quest in Warframe history. It brought an incredible amount of work behind it, but it certainly had an incredible amount of love and work that went into it from the sound team especially. So, we touched on it briefly on last year's panel, but, for the sheer amount of dialogue that was recorded for the New War quest, was there any logistical challenges in terms of capturing just that much audio?
Yeah, it was a lot. Like it's looking back on it now and thinking about it, actually I should have highlighted all the lines to see what the line count was. But it was a lot, and it was a lot of coordinating with all the different actors, and it was a lot to kind of get it all hooked up in the game and everything. So yeah, but in the end, you're so in the mindset of doing it. You're in this kind of the eye of the storm, and then you release it and you're like, wow, and you take a look back and you're like, wow, that was a lot of work that we put into that. So yeah, very, very proud of the team and what we were able to accomplish with that for sure.
Yeah, it was just an insane amount of, because I think even before that, I can't even think of the second longest quest in reference to that. But the fact that the New War was, I think, on many first playthroughs was around 4 hours is just an incredible leap in terms of length.
And of course, you've got all the operator and drifter dialogue ×4, right? So you're here, you finish one, and then you're like, okay, we're done. It's like, well, no, you gotta do that 3 more times. And we, in the cinematics, we would have to time it out. So we had one actor who was kind of the lead, and then everything was timed out to his reads. So all the other actors would have to follow the timing and the pacing. Because of course when they do the animations, they just do one version, right? So all the mouths have to kind of move at the same speed, and we a couple of our team members, Slater and Chris in particular, did a lot of finagling of dialogue lines to make sure they all lined up. Choosing operator, we call them operator A, B, C, and D. Testing them to make sure that they work, and then making another choice and testing another cinematic. Does it line up? Is everything okay? So that was a lot of work. I distinctly remember that, even from a tech point of view, making sure that they switched properly based on player choice. So.
Yeah, incredible to have, like you said, 4 different contexts for both operator and for drifter across 4 different voices. Like what a challenge that must have been. Another moment from the New War quest as well that I've been dying to talk about. That was probably one of my favorites of the whole quest. And again, another spoiler warning for the New War. If you have not yet completed it, massive spoilers ahead. There's a moment towards the end of the quest where we finally see the man in the wall as, I guess I would say, a true void manifestation, literally a wall. And this moment of, seeing the man on the wall in, perhaps their true form, and there's that really haunting vocalization that comes out from them. It absolutely terrified me. I know it really resonated with fans as well. For that moment, was that something that, years back, perhaps you'd always known that this, form was going to come? You always thought, oh, we know what voice we're going to use for that, or we know how that's going to sound. Or is that something that organically came up during development?
We had no idea, but I have to say that the actor is among us right now. So.
What?
Yes. So you're hearing it here for the first time.
It was me.
What?
Yes,
that was you, Keith?
No.
Oh, he got me.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, Eric. Yeah, and Eric definitely speak to it. I think it took a few iterations to kind of figure out what we wanted to do, because we didn't have that preconceived notion of what it should sound like. But man, you hit it out of the park, and it turned out awesome. But yeah.
I remember seeing the concept art, and I just found the concept art to be as terrifying as what it ended up being in game. And I was working on the sounds for that that cinematic, and I started playing with some ideas. And sort of one of the earliest things that I tried was a walrus. So I had this pitch down walrus, and it had this really menacing kind of tone. And then it did a pitch drop, and a kind of like a minor pitch drop, and it felt really strange and big and scary. So that was kind of the basis for what ended up being that voice. So using that as a bass, I overdubbed myself on it, hitting the same note as that walrus kind of hit, except adding words in. And then I layered it multiple times, so my own performance multiple times, pitched it down, added some effects and processing, and mixed it together, and that's what the kind of the final result was.
And it's cool too because we've got those words in there, right, that the writing team came up with that he says. And I don't know, has anyone kind of figured out what deciphered what it is? And I don't know if the community is kind of, they've probably tried to pick it apart to kind of get those words and see.
There's been some very valiant attempts. I've heard some YouTube videos where they've pitched it up, where you can really get close, but I can tell you that no one has found it yet.
I always thought it was, seriously, I always thought it was Eric is cool.
That's exactly it. That's what it was originally, but we had to change it.
Yeah.
We got it there for sure. But it took
in all honesty, I think that's one of the best kind of endings and cinematics that we've done, sound design wise, musically, vocally, all of that stuff. It really came together really nicely. And also for being one of the last things that we tackled, right? Like I think, especially musically, as I recall, that was probably one of the last cinematics, those last couple that you and your team worked on, Keith. So yeah, it turned out great though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks. Yeah, Eric was awesome.
Yeah. You guys.
And I mean, I think that speaks to, how great that audio is at the end. That, to me, I thought it might have been something that's been, cooking up for years, but to hear that it was, something that, had to be brought about almost in the 11th hour is pretty incredible. Look at where you guys are now. Could you imagine, all those years ago, thinking, who knows, down the road we'll be doing the score for a 4-hour quest. What might you say to your former selves for that?
Yeah, it's like the movie version, right? It's get to 10 years in or 8 years in or so, and let's do the movie version of this.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
It's better than the movie. It's better than
No, but it's true. It's kind of like it's taking a lot of the older ideas and building upon them and kind of bringing them together and kind of, making it feel more fleshed out. And that's what I love about, all the stuff that we've been doing, especially lately, is it's taking a lot of those older ideas and kind of melding them into something new and incorporating them. And so you really have this through line of sound design, voice, and music especially that has continued. And you play Warframe, and I'd like to think, you play it and it sounds like Warframe, which is kind of always the goal. It's always a good thing, I think. So.
Agreed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's incredible how moving forward that sonic palette has still held up, even though, you've been able to take us in so many new, interesting directions, as we'll talk about later on in the panel for sure. But next up, we'll actually be seeing a behind-the-scenes video from the sound team that they prepared. We'll be taking a look at the sound design behind the Angels of the Zariman update. We'll specifically be looking at the sound design behind some of the new mission types, as well as a very highly requested look at the vocalizations for the Angels. Enjoy.
Yeah. Hey everyone, Jess here from the sound team. Today I'm going to be taking you through some sound design from the Angels of Zariman update. Let's take a look. So we are in Void Flood game mode right now, and we're going to take a look at making a sound for one of these void fractures here. Let's start by recording some audio. Oh my gosh. All right, so we are here in Reaper. We've got some mouth sounds, we've got some ghost voices pitched up and down, some spooky breaths, some synthesizer. Let's take a listen. Okay, so that's a lot of me making some weird sounds. But we are going to do some processing. So, on some of our voice breathing sounds, throwing a bit of flange on there, here and there, throwing a bit of ring mod. The ring mod really makes it rattly. You might hear this sound in some other gameplay elements in the Zerman as well. This was really fun. We're gonna throw some similar chains on me, pretending to be a ghost.
Ooh. Spooky.
I was able to grab a sample of some sparks from a welding torch. We're gonna time stretch that, and we're gonna lower it in pitch just to make it sound super weird and artifacty. And I took the Void Ooze loop from the New War. I time stretched it a bit and just snuck it in as a texture layer. And here's everything together. Okay, very spooky. Let's throw this in the game and see how it sounds. Here it is by itself. And here it is with the rest of the game audio. That's all from me. Thanks for watching, thanks for playing, and I'll see you next time.
Hello Tenno, and welcome to Tenno Con 2022. I'm Eric, part of the sound team, and today we're going to show you how we made the vocals for the Void Angels. We wanted the Void Angels to elicit a sense of beauty, but also fear. And what better place to start than with a Mayan death whistle. It's terrifying. We recorded the death whistle and added some extra effects.
Wait, that's a real thing?
That was feeling good, but we wanted to punch it up a notch. So this time, we recorded the death whistle again and pitched it down. Here's what that sounds like.
Ooh.
And here's the two performances combined.
Once the death whistle was feeling appropriately terrifying, we wanted to add the beauty element. So for that, we used a reverse reverb trick on some female laughter.
We started with unprocessed laughter. And to begin this trick, you first have to reverse it. At this stage, you can add your favorite reverb or echo. And then you record that to a separate track. Once you have that recorded, you can move that to a new track, remove your reverb, and once again, reverse it to get the final product. Here it is combined with our death whistle.
Once the death whistle and the beauty element were combined, it was time to add a little bit of size and a little bit of danger. For that, we used a microphone called the Sanken C100. It records sounds above human hearing, and what that lets you do is pitch down your own vocals by several times to make something simple turn into what sounds like a beast or a monster.
This is what our original unpitched recording sounds like. And this is what the same recording sounds like pitched down several times. And then we added that to our death whistle and our reverse laughter for the final product.
That is so cool.
And that's how the Void Angel vocals were created. I hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes look, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Happy TennoCon.
Thank you for that. I mean, you know, once the Angels of the Zerman update dropped, you know, we had that preview trailer that came out where we got that first glimpse of the angel, and from that first shriek, I think fans have been pretty curious to hear how those sounds were developed. So that was a very cool look at that. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. And earlier this year, we finally got to, step on board the Zerman proper. We'd had a little bit of a visit during the New War, but, since Warframe began, people have been hearing, echoes of the Zeramin, and finally we got to take a look and go on board that doomed colony ship. So, it was a really remarkable mission. It was a really, really great update in terms of the sound design, the music, and all the audio. And I just have to say, from even the track that was playing over the Warframe launcher when the update went out, the music just went in an entirely new direction, and still very much Warframe, but it was really cool to hear how the music was developed for that update. So, Keith, I have to ask you, what inspired you to use something like an organ on the tracks for this update?
Eric.
Eric? That was Eric's idea?
Yeah, we were dialing it in, and much of the approach was inspired by the sounds that you sent me, the shrieking sounds. I think you sent me those, right? Initially?
Yeah, early on. Yeah.
Right. It was very helpful. It became a task of matching those sounds. So enormously helpful. And then it was Eric, it was your idea. It was like a last minute sort of, this might be crazy, but let's try it. And it really it was such a great idea, and I think it works really well. It just, it's pipe organ that just makes the whole thing it's a little bit more grand, for lack of a better word. It just like gives it the scope that it didn't have until we added the pipe organ. So
it was almost like because of the angel theme running through it, it was kind of like, how can we push this and give it sort of a cathedral vibe or a gothic vibe? And sort of, organ came to mind and thought it would be interesting to try. And of course, Keith knocked it out of the park with the parts that he wrote and worked it in beautifully with the tracks that he had written. So yeah, very thankful that he was able to make it work so well.
Yeah.
And I'd love to add, sorry to interrupt, but that Matthew Chalmers, before I forget, Matthew Chalmers, brilliant composer who helps me on a lot of things, worked with me on all of the Zeramin music.
Yes.
So thank you, Matthew.
Yes. Thank you, Matt.
Out there watching.
Shout out Matthew
I
Chalmers.
believe he worked on some of the New War as well, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, Matthew Chalmers, Evan Duffy, Steve Davis were my, very, very helpful collaborators on all of that music. So.
Well, yeah, as George said, absolutely knocked it out of the park. It was fantastic. Given the Zeramin, it's got that intense lore and such a specific, important part in terms of the lore and the history of Warframe and the Tenno. When you're creating that ambient audio on board the Zeramin, was there a specific layer or sound that you started from, in terms of capturing the theme in the history of the Zeramin? Where was the starting point for that ambiance?
I think it kind of started in the New War, Eric? Like a bit.
Yep.
I mean, it was a bit of that, and then brought through into the Zeramin update. But yeah, you worked on a lot of that, as I recall.
Yeah, absolutely. It totally started in the New War, and that mission really much set the tone for what we did for the Zeramin update in terms of ambience. A lot of it was kind of trying to weave in some memories of and echoes of what would have existed on the ship before what happened, but also trying to keep it somewhat realistic and in an area where it would be believable. Didn't want to make it too spooky. Didn't want to make it a haunted house or a house of horrors, but definitely wanted to feel that there was a presence there before what happened. So yeah, lots of iteration, lots of going back and forth with the team and working with George to get things right. We put a lot of time into our ambience work as well, and I know a lot of time people don't hear it under the gunfire, or some of the missions get right to the point very quickly. But yeah, we take a lot of time with it and kind of give each space its own characteristic sound. So yeah, if you're ever interested and you can get away from some enemies for any amount of time, turn the sound up and take a listen.
Yeah,
you'll find some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I just want to mention too, sorry to cut you off, Marcus,
go
just
ahead.
before I forget as well, talking about other team members and just acknowledging the other people on the sound team, and that's Giovanna Agapito, Jess Buscema, Slater Groves, Jeff Hartling, Mark Perkin, Willem Shonkin, Jem Sermon, and Chris Teixeira. They all did a fantastic job on all of these updates, and can't thank them enough for their collaboration as well. So.
But in terms of some things in the update that are, I guess, a little frightening, I did want to talk about our favorite Void manifestation, Skitter Girl, because for anyone who's been playing through the Angels of the Zeramin, you've probably been chased by this lovely Void manifestation. So I have to ask, is it more fun to do sound design for a creepy child than it is to be chased by one?
I think you have to be chased by one to know how to sound design for one. Yeah. A little bit of both. That voice was Archimedian Yanta, and she recorded some lines for us for Skitter Girl. And Giovanni, one of the sound designers, he did the processing and got that working and made it extra creepy with the echoes and the reverb and all that stuff.
That's pretty great. I mean, fitting that it's also Archimedian Yanta's, it's her own manifestation. So very cool to use the same voice actress for that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not a fun chase, but it is cool. It's a good time. And then in terms of the Zeramin, it very much has some certain tendrils into Duviri for sure. So I just wanted to ask, in terms of any sort of sound qualities, was there anything that perhaps we might hear from Duviri that is sort of layered into the onboard the Zeramin? Are there any maybe sonic Easter eggs that we might be able to find on board?
Yes. I think there is a sonic Easter egg in Zeramin. I think a lot of people have definitely found it. And there will be some sonic Easter eggs in Duviri from the Zeramin as well. So yeah, keep your ear out.
Ooh, very cool. So next up, we're going to be seeing another video from the sound team. This time, we'll be taking a look at the revamped audio for the Eximus enemies that came with the Angels of the Zeramin update, as well as we'll be taking a journey with our very own George Spanos to do some field recording. Enjoy.
Ooh, fun.
Hey everyone, I'm Chris from the sound team. I'm going to show you my electromagnetic recording rig today. These are electromagnetic sensors which capture electromagnetic fields instead of sound waves through the air like your typical microphones on the left here. The magnetic field is strong with these dimmer switches here. Don't worry, I'm not doing anything dangerous. So I think I have something there usable that I'm going to try some sound design with. So I have and I'm going to be sound designing for these little electrical orbs that come from the bioelectric Eximus unit. So we're going to start with the electrical panel sound here. And it needs a little something, so I'm gonna add a tremolator here. Gives it a little bit of rhythm. And then I'm going to add this plugin, which is a grains and pitch plugin. It's really cool. So what I did next was I changed the parameters here and basically played around until I found something that was really unique and interesting. And I went with that. So augmenting these dials here. A little bit of EQ, compression, phase, panning, pitch shifter, and delay and reverb. And just like that, the sound was done. Here's the final result. Thanks for watching, everyone. Enjoy the rest of TENNO CON.
Hey, everyone. This year we thought we'd show you some ambience recording. Now, I know we've done it in the past, but we've never used a binaural microphone in the past. A binaural microphone aims to replicate the human head. So it's got 2 ears on it, and in each ear there's a microphone. And so what it does is it records sound in a really interesting, in-depth way, that you would normally hear the sound if you were out in that environment. Some of you know this as ASMR. The other thing we did was we got a seismic microphone. A seismic microphone, you can stick it onto metal, plastic, glass, whatever, and it records sound like normal microphones can't. So it gives it a depth and a clarity that you normally wouldn't get. It really adds importance and resonance to the sound, which is really interesting. So make sure you're wearing headphones for this, especially for the binaural part, and enjoy.
Griffy.
Ooh. Next up, of course, as we've looked back at the new war and at the Angels of the Zariman update, we now, of course, have to look forward to the Duviri paradox. We first got our look at the Duviri paradox during that TennoCon 2019 trailer, where we saw that lone rider above that on that skeletal horse, and it was pretty incredible to see that sneak peek. And now here we are looking ahead to Duviri. So, in terms of that 2019 TennoCon trailer, how has the sonic palette from that trailer held up? Have you still been able to kind of draw on that as the inspiration for Duviri moving forward, or have you had some different realizations between creating that trailer and then now creating the update?
It's always funny to look back on things from a few years ago and try to incorporate some of those ideas. And definitely, I guess to answer the question, there definitely some of it is being incorporated into what we're doing now, but of course there's a whole bunch of new stuff as well. It's interesting when you working on a trailer versus working on the game as a whole requires kind of a different kind of approach. And so what might work for a trailer may not work in the game, and vice versa. But the general tone of it, for sure, I think we're trying to carry some of that through, but also kind of build on it, and Keith has been writing some great music for that. And I know the rest of the team has been working hard on making sounds for certain things in it. I don't know what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say, but
I know it's always a challenge, right?
I'm like,
so much
did I say that
you
thing,
want to
or
get into?
No? Yeah.
Yeah, the whistling is very Western, which I love. And speaking of different themes and ideas to draw upon, is there a specific kind of list of themes or inspirations that you want to draw on for Duviri? Is there kind of maybe like a genre you're sort of looking at in terms of where you want to develop perhaps the sound design even?
Yeah, it's a pretty wide range, and Eric, you can speak to this too. I think everything from Western to kind of, I don't know, I guess you could say kind of space opera in a way. So there's a lot of that we're incorporating into it and trying to bring it into a new territory. It's a big update. It's a whole new world. It's a whole new area for players to explore. And so, the question is always like, how do we make it feel kind of familiar in tone, but yet new and exciting? So, yeah.
So I do have to ask before we move on from Duviri, you know, George, you touched on this briefly before, but are there any, you know, directions that will go sonically, or perhaps, you know, in terms of maybe a vocal performance that we haven't heard yet in Warframe? You know, is there any sort of untrodden ground that Duviri will go to that we haven't yet seen?
100% yes. And actually, you know, I think Keith has been working on something that's going to be pretty damn cool.
Don't
Yeah.
look over
don't,
there.
don't look at don't look at the screen though.
We're
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be pretty cool. We're pretty excited about it actually. So yeah, and we always try to do that, right? Is always try to like, hey, what can we do on this update to make it new and exciting and refreshing?
Mhm.
And there's going to be plenty of that on Duviri, I guarantee it, from all departments really.
Yeah, no, it's been incredible to see the work already going into it, and I just, you know, of course, fans may get another sneak peek later on in the show today for TennoCon 2022, but it's been incredible to see the work that's gone into it, and it looks it's going to be pretty special. Yeah. So I also I have to ask for, you know, there's certainly some aspiring sound designers and composers watching today, you know, for a sound designer or, you know, someone who wants to get into composing, you know, what's something that they could even do today to start working and honing their craft?
You know, like in this day and age, I mean, there's you know, there's YouTube, there's trailers everywhere. There's so much content out there. You know, grab a trailer from your favorite game and redesign the sound, you know, and try that. Try downloading Unreal, try Unity, try, you know, all of these game engines that I think most of them you can get free versions of or demo versions of, and just start working away at kind of figuring out what makes them tick, you know, from the technical side. And then the trailers from the creative side, you can put a lot of different ideas into them and kind of build up your skills that way, I think is a good way of approaching it for sure.
Yeah, it really does take a long time to learn the craft, and there's really no replacement for experience of just trying and getting things wrong. So I always say the sooner you can start getting things wrong, the sooner you're going to start getting things right. So yeah, that's cool. Jump in.
No, that's awesome. No, thank you for those insights. Those are really great to hear. So next up for our panel, we're actually going to be playing a little game. So for those of you that are fans of the ever popular Wordle, there's another version called Hurdle, where you need to listen to music and guess it quickly enough, as fast as you can. And so today we're bringing you Warframe Hurdle, Wordle. And you guys get to play it for the first time ever. So very, very exciting.
Oh,
so
this is great.
Object of the game is you want to try and guess the source of the audio in as small of a duration of a clip as you can. So we'll play a small duration of a clip, and then if you're unable to guess it, we'll start playing longer and longer until we max out. I think we've got about 4 or 5 samples for each that we'll play. So you guys are working together on this, don't worry, and we'll have it separated by category so you can kind of stay in the same headspace. So first off, we'll be starting with the music category, so these will all be songs. So to guess correctly, you just need to either guess the title if you want, or you can guess what update the song is from. So here's our first track, and this will be about a second long.
That was a Duran. Oh.
Oh,
sorry.
Boom.
He wrote it.
I didn't give it the name. I was gonna say the werewolf one.
Yes. Yeah, what was that? That was with Ballas, and what was that update called?
The Sacrifice.
The Sacrifice. Yeah.
Sacrifice.
Yes.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite tracks in the game. I love that track.
It's one of my favorite pieces I've ever written for anything. I think melodically it was successful, I guess. I don't know.
It's fantastic.
It achieved what I was going for, and you know, I don't always quite get there, and I felt like I got there with that one.
Okay, and let's check out the next track.
I think I know it.
Not familiar. Yeah.
The Zeraman. That's the Angel OST.
Yep.
The boss fight. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
correct.
forget the name of that one, but
Yeah, I think it's On Corroded Wings.
On Corroded
On
Wings.
Corroded Wings.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very fitting title.
It's the nanas. Na 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 na.
yeah, I never thought of those. Like, no.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so next up, so that was our music category. We'll be moving on to dialogue. So if you can guess either the character or honestly even the update that it's from, both will suffice. So you'll be hearing a shorter amount of dialogue, and then you'll just have to guess from there. So here's our first clip of dialogue.
Oh, that's Hunhow, vainglorious whelp.
Yep.
I forget the update,
Nice.
but yeah.
You got the line though.
Yeah. Man, it's weird, eh? How that just clicks in.
Yeah.
It's like memories rushing back.
Yeah, it's just like seeing the Matrix.
Yeah, you absolutely snapped that, George. Yeah, I think that was a fan favorite among the community team for sure. We loved that line of vainglorious whelp. It was just
It's from the New War, isn't it? I think
it is. Yeah, it's the New War. Yeah, excellent delivery, and yeah, it's such a good bit of dialogue.
How is
all right, and here's our last bit of dialogue.
Dreamer.
Or a night? Is that Dreamers?
No.
Oh. Oh, I'm out then.
All right, let's hear the second bit.
Dreamer. Let them defile.
New War.
I should say they do scale up in difficulty as we go across each category. So this will be the hardest one.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one.
It rings a bell, but I can't.
All right, ready for the full duration?
Yeah.
Dreamer. Let them defile. No more.
This is in the New War, and it's when you get to one of near the end, and you climb the tower, the Unum.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the Unum.
It is the Unum, correct.
Tower.
Right.
Of course, so the word.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
It was a pretty special moment in that quest because I don't think, there's different characters you expect to hear from. I don't think the Unum is someone anybody expected to hear from. So that was, when everything slows down there and you get that angelic voice that comes through. It was a really, really cool moment of that quest. And I think this next category is also increasing in difficulty as well. Now we're moving on to the sound effects or the sound design category. So if you can identify, the source of these bits of audio or the update that's from, both will work. So here we go. Here's our first sound effect.
Some kind of infested or something. Need a little bit more of that flavor.
Yeah.
The bell too.
I feel like I know that one.
It's tough.
It is a tough one.
That's a tough one. Increasing in difficulty, you said?
Or do we start? There is actually a hint I had planned for this one that I can give now. It is one of the Archons.
Ah.
Oh, okay.
But you'll have to identify which one it is.
Oh. I want to say.
Keith has it.
Was that Keith?
Archon number 3.
You're absolutely correct. It is Archon number 3.
Nice.
Nicely done. Yeah. Archon Naira. Nice.
Nice.
That's perfect.
Awesome.
Good job, Keith.
Yeah.
There you go.
Excellent.
No.
All right. Here is our next sound effect.
Is that a ability?
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
That's not what's in the orbiter. What's the I'm forgetting the name of the beast thing in your orbiter.
Oh, the helmet?
Oh, the helmet.
No.
This is the latest Warframe.
Yes.
From Angels of Zeraman.
It sounded like a beastly.
Yeah,
Cool.
it is. Do you want to play the full sound effect?
Yeah, that's her 4th ability. Yeah.
Correct, Eric. Yep, you're correct.
Yeah.
It is Gyre's Rotor Swell.
Nice.
Yep, nicely done. Yeah, he had it after that first second clip. Well done. All right, well, thank you guys for playing Wordle. That was
Well, I was right about it being a ability.
here's some of the the bits of history behind those different pieces of dialogue and music, and you guys were proved you're quite good at Wordle. So, well, very well done. A few weeks ago, we did ask the Warframe fans both on the forums and on Reddit to pose some questions for the three of you. So we can jump into those now. So Guts440 on the forums asks, why in the middle of For an Armor do you use a sample of what sounds like the intro to This Is What You Are?
Why? I'm trying to remember why. I think it's something along the lines of just trying to bring an echo of This Is What You Are, like a distant memory of how things used to be, sort of that kind of idea, like a little echo that, you know, you might miss it, but you more than likely will just get this sense that it's connected to the past.
Mm-hmm. And Keith, I have to ask, how did that feel taking that anthem of We All Live Together, this hopeful, beautiful song, and then kind of inverting its entire theme? You know, was that your idea to corrupt your original idea?
Ooh, I don't remember whose idea. It's all very collaborative. You know, it's George and I had I think it was a 2-hour call one day, Zoom, quite like this, where it was just ideas back and forth, and the good ones are usually George's, and then I attempt to take credit for them later. But you know, it definitely, I love the idea, no matter whose idea it was. I love the idea of having two pieces that you could actually almost overlap. I wanted them to play at the same tempo, in the same key, but I don't think we ended up doing it in the same key for vocal range reasons. But you know, the melodies play off one of another, and a corrupt version of it is exactly the concept.
Enderleia on Reddit asks, what sound effect in the game is the most transformed from its original recording?
Wow, that's a good one.
A lot of them, actually, Eric? I mean, it's funny, like we were saying earlier, you come in with an idea and you kind of twist and turn things until it's kind of like having like molten steel or something, and you're hammering at it into like bend it into your will, into the shape that you want it to be. Yeah, I've done one thing kind of comes into mind. I don't remember what it was for, unfortunately, but just taking the sound of like a lion roar and just really like stretching it out and putting plugins on it and making it something kind of like completely different. I'm sorry, I can't remember what I use that on, but it happens a lot, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're always trying to, refresh things and keep things updated where we can, without changing things too much. But yeah, I wouldn't say there's any one particular sound. It's lots of little things over time. And improving the technology that we use to play our sounds is a big part of it too. Mm-hmm. And that kind of indirectly affects older sounds and gives them new life and puts them into a slightly different context.
I think I will
talk about this. As time goes on, that technology would just only enhance those original recordings for sure.
Absolutely. You surprise yourself too, right? Like you'll pull a sound in and you'll try different things, and I think that's a big part of sound design, is like you can't be afraid to try things. And I'm sure it's the same with music too. It's like something you would think would sound a certain way. It's like, well, how can we make this sound something different? It just let's just try things on it, right? And not really thinking of the rules, as it were, in that sense. And you can come up with some really interesting stuff that way. So
nice. Def Techno on the forums asks, what is your favorite sound effect that you haven't found the right place to use in game yet?
Easy, George.
Rubber chicken.
There you go. Yes. Yeah.
One day
there will be
a pitch down rubber chicken in Warframe.
Keep your
Man, we
ears
used to
out.
have one of those in the office, when a build would be broken, someone would squeeze the rubber chicken and you'd hear through the office. So where is that rubber chicken?
It's in my office.
Just waiting to be used on
Tucked
something.
away.
Yeah. Man in the Wall 2.0.
Yeah,
exactly.
Ooh, that would be really. Those chickens do sound honestly pretty terrifying. So that would.
I'll bet it would sound horrifying.
Yeah,
down,
chicken
down
in the wall
2
pitch.
octaves
That like
with
that.
some-
You know.
Yep. Yeah.
do it.
It's gonna happen.
Next
Right.
Warframe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Javiri Easter egg.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Chicken
And
frame.
I think one fan question that we definitely received a lot from this forum post and on Reddit, but I think across many avenues, I'm sure you all have heard it a lot for sure. But when should fans potentially expect the next Warframe soundtrack?
Well, I was talking to Keith about this not too long ago, actually. We have one in the works. It's funny because I was combing through all of the music that we've written since, 2018. Yeah, right, he's got it right there.
Oh. Hey, look at that.
Yeah, and it's, I was talking to our merchandising team, and it's literally 4 records worth. It's an incredible amount of music that has been written in the past 4 years.
Wow.
And so we actually are hoping for the end of this year, but I can't make any promises as to that.
For sure.
But it's long overdue, and we need to get it out there, and it's definitely in the works. And yeah, we will definitely do it.
That's
And
amazing.
it will be 6 records by the time we're done.
And it will be 6 records. Exactly. Well, that's the thing, because we started talking about it like earlier this year, and so now Angels of Zerum and those tracks have to get added on, and now whatever else comes out before it. So
I didn't know that it was.
excited for that.
I like your spirit, Keith. I like that. Let's add a couple more records on there. Let's get up to 6.
a copy of the soundtrack.
Yeah. Fantastic. Now, I am very excited now. Earlier on, you guys informed me that we actually have a bit of a sneak peek of some music incoming from the upcoming Duviri Paradox update that we will play for you now.
Oh. That sounds so good.
Thank you for sending that along. That
That was so good.
Yeah, and honestly, a massive thank you to the 3 of you, but also to the entire sound team at Digital Extremes for all the work that you do for Warframe. It's absolutely incredible, and thank the 3 of you. Thank you to the 3 of you for joining us today for the sound panel. It's been an absolute blast.
Well, thank you, Marcus. It's been really fun. I enjoyed this.
Thank you,
Marcus. Yeah, it's been an honor.
Yeah, no, honor's all mine. Thank you so much. I also want to give a special thank you to DE Corey and the community team who helped co-produce this panel. So thank you, Corey, for your help. You were instrumental in this for sure. And don't go anywhere for TENNO CON 2022, because next up we have a live panel brought to you by our very own Megan Everett as she goes through a live developer Q&A. She's joined by Pablo, Kaz, and DE Matt as they answer all of your questions live. So enjoy TENNO CON 2022.
Hey everybody, Megan here to let you know that by watching this year's show on Twitch, you're going to earn yourself some incredible free items if you have your Warframe and Twitch account linked. Watching TENNO CON until 5 p.m. Eastern Time for 30 consecutive minutes will reward you with both the Bear Chris Warfan and the Renala Sugatra. But that's not all. Tune into Tenno Live between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Time for another 30 consecutive minutes, and you're going to earn yourself a free Titania Prime. That's right, a free Prime Warframe. If you already have your Twitch account and your Warframe account linked and received drops before on Warframe streams, then you're all set. But if you've never linked your Warframe and Twitch account together, simply go on over to warframe.com/Twitch, log into your Warframe account, and follow the simple instructions to get set up. And that's it. Enjoy the show.
as a concept artist, that's kind of the most exciting stuff, because I think it started out as like a terraforming situation. We were going to take this crazy hot planet of Venus and cool it down with these like
it was
organoids
Orokin devices
Yep.
that were there that the Corpus had come and
Right.
tried to turn back on.
Yeah.
Because of the turbulence of this terraforming device, you'd have stuff melt and then it would freeze up, so you'd get these giant frozen sideways icicles, off of mountains
Yeah.
and stuff. So we were trying just to think of, how could we describe this place?
How can we make this look interesting and make sense, and also make it make sense, because we're not supposed to be on Venus, right? Like, and then there's this colony just dealing with this debt. And I'm like, yeah, that's like us, right?
Yeah, it's definitely
Everyone's
definitely interesting. Again, little
very
things that help
relatable,
kind of
makes it personal. Yeah, I think also one of the things was like elevation, like because like Plains is pretty flat, you know what I mean? Like or Vallis there, it's pretty mountainous. You can go really high up in that level, and I know you can't do that with Plains at Eidolon. So I think that played a key factor. The color, the mood, Warframe's so fast, like when you're playing these other levels and stuff, it's like, okay, now you got this massive world and terrain to traverse, and so like the K drive came in to kind of speed that up.
To be honest, the K drive thing didn't happen when we started doing the landscape. It
That
just
came
worked.
later, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of came. Those elements actually work really well just in general for gameplay. Yeah, I think the landscape, when you see it kind of felt like, oh, here's a great opportunity to inject this, because I
kind
think
of surf
it really,
in the snow. Well, also like some of the vehicles got explored a lot.
Yeah, again, we were trying to tell the story of what was happening. So we had like almost like forestry type equipment where they were chopping down mushrooms and like a logging type thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of that actually came through, but we were trying that, because
That's
again, we were
right.
trying to fill out. It's so big, and just to try to tell these sort of small stories throughout the landscape. We're seeing how we can take this into sort of any direction we'd like.
Go outdoors, yeah.
Well, it's just in
Okay.
anywhere. So it's really, really fun to be a part of.
Yeah.
The
More Vallis is what we want to do. Nailed it.
Hey Tenno, Megan here again. Did you know that we have new merch in the store? Just like this lamp. If you go to store.warframe.com, you can get yourself one of these lamps that changes color. But not just that, you can also switch it out from a lotus symbol to Excalibur. Wow, just like that. Make sure you go to store.warframe.com and you can get one of these, and check out all the other merch that we have available as well. That was your scare? What was that?
Right, I'll be right back.
Hey Tenno, Danny here. We're getting so much closer to unveiling some incredible surprises. Tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll be opening up the Duviri Amphitheater orbiting Earth in-game. Join your fellow Tenno for an up-close and very unique experience during the Tenno Live presentation. As a special thank you for joining us for Tenno Con today, for the next 48 hours, you can claim a special operator and drifter cosmetic, the Stranger's Hood. This exclusive cosmetic is available right now on all platforms in the in-game market for 1 credit. Be sure to log in and claim yours. Bye, Tenno.
Hello, welcome. Sorry, I'm staring into the abyss at Dean, and I can't really see anything. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the audible sensation of the art, not the art panel, the sound panel with Marcus, George. This is very disorienting. I need to take that out. I'm like screaming. Sorry, Dean. I'm supposed to be able to hear him. With George, Eric, and Keith Power, and it was so fun to watch that get put together. And thank you to everyone who gave support to that. Marcus, you're incredible. And now we're here for the Dev Q&A. I am joined by some very fun, lovely people from DE. I'm going to let them introduce themselves one by one. We'll start with Kaz.
Hi, I'm Kaz. I am the weapons lead at Warframe.
Me, Matt Tremblay. I guess I'm next, right?
Yeah, you would
After
be
Kaz,
next.
that's me. I'm one of the art directors on Warframe.
And I'm Pablo. I'm a designer in Warframe. You know me.
You know me, it's Pablo. On this segment, we have 55 minutes, and I have a bunch of questions here on my iPad, and I will be asking them. These are questions based off of questions that I've seen on dev streams. I maybe creeped some Twitters, just kind of curated some stuff. We're going to talk about the new war, we're going to talk about Zariman, and then of course a little bit about Viri. But before we get into that, I said at the beginning of the stream that I might do a giveaway, and we're going to do a giveaway. We're going to do a Garuda Prime Access. She does end today. I don't know why she would end today. There's no reason why she would just up and
Nothing
leave.
in particular.
Nothing in particular why Garuda Prime Access would end today, but we're going to give away Garuda Prime Access. Dean is rolling. Can you guys see how tiny that text is?
That's really small.
Yeah, my glasses don't go that far. So.
No, my
So,
contacts do not. Although I can actually see Apex Acolyte. Am I right, Dean?
Wow.
Oh my God, Apex Acolyte. Congratulations.
To be young and have good eyes.
I mean, not young, not good eyes, so I'm just closest to the screen is all. Apex Acolyte, congratulations. You have won a Garuda Prime Access. Please whisper the Warframe Twitch channel you're watching right now with your in-game alias and the platform you play Warframe on, and we'll get you your Garuda Prime Access. Congratulations. All right, are we ready for some A's to the Q's? Yeah, I love it.
Let's do it.
All right, first we're going to start off with some general questions about your actual role and what it is that it means to be ABC. So we're going to start with Pablo, and what does it mean to be a game designer?
You do a little bit of everything. You kind of go around. Sometimes you're working on coming up with a new Warframe. Sometimes it's kind of looking back and seeing, recently we did for example, rework of Focus, rework of Eximus, systems that have been in the game for, literally an eon. So
the dawn of time.
Yeah, pretty much. Eximus have been there for 9 years untouched, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's a bit about like looking back and seeing like, okay, well, what could we do to improve what's there? Sometimes it's like, what is new that could be like exciting? Sometimes like looking for new ways to new rewards for players that feel kind of new, like weapons, for example, was like that. So you kind of, it's a little bit all over the place. It's kind of trying to find how do you keep something that has existed for
a little high right now.
Keep it fun.
Mm-hmm. You're the fun maker.
That's the idea.
That's the hope and the dream. I love it. Kaz, weapons artist.
Yeah, so we make a pretty weird game here at Warframe.
Do we? I don't know.
As I'm sure you know, our weapons and cosmetics are pretty unique in the industry, so as a result, all the people on my team are pretty weird and unique themselves and very creative people.
Mm-hmm.
We come up with just amazing things, and it's new every single update, every single time. So coming up with something from nothing, from I guess Pablo's design direction as well, and then just going crazy with it. It's just the dream for any artist, just to be able to go step outside of the box so far every single time. It's fun.
I'm still waiting for a corn launcher. I'm still waiting for the weapons I want.
Well, wait and see.
Oh my goodness, the anticipation. I do have more corn questions, but we'll wait. Matt, art director, tell me more.
Corn questions.
Oh, Matt, you're about to be introduced to the world of corn.
Art director, right? It's one of those positions at the studio that does a whole lot of stuff, like Pablo was saying on the design side, but it's obviously more art-centric. There's a few of us on the project, it's a big game, so there's different areas, different kind of responsibilities, I guess, in terms of the overall art look of Warframe. But a lot of what we do is work with, the creative team, designers and creative directors, the narrative team, the art team, and there's all different types of groups there. So as an art director, most of the job is just liaising between all of those groups, making sure that the creative direction aligns with the visual direction, the artistic direction, and then keeps that art train kind of running on the tracks, essentially. There's all kinds of super talented people that we all work with. So I'm not doing a whole lot of the actual day-to-day creation stuff myself. I leave that to people like Kaz, and there's so many super talented people on the team. So yeah, as an art director, yeah, you do some art and you do some high-level stuff, but you really just kind of help move the vision along.
No. Wait. We went back and read one and
involve Pablo or doesn't involve Kaz. Like everything kind of blends together. And Pablo, I want to kind of take us all back, because like I said, a lot of years here. We've been through a lot of iterations of Warframe and what it's been over the years. Do you remember the first thing that you worked on when you came into Warframe?
I was actually still finishing our previous project, but people were getting ramped up on Warframe, and at that point I was a UI programmer, so they needed basically the basic components to be able to make menus and stuff. They just needed kind of like the basic foundation of how to draw a list, how to draw a grid and stuff like that. So I was literally doing kind of that on the side of the other project and just sending them over, and they would just kind of assemble the screens.
Remember the first screen you did? Do you remember?
Probably Arsenal, but that might also be a lie because I made that screen so many times by now.
What did it even look like when you first did it?
Yeah, we've changed that screen so many times that I'm sure that I'm just kind of like...
It's perfect now though, right?
Don't need to touch it ever again. It's great.
Yeah, I don't know. Like some of those things probably was Arsenal, but the first design thing, like once I started to kind of transition a little bit more to that, I think it was changing abilities to no longer be mods. I think that was like my first big change, like the design suggestion that essentially kind of got the ball rolling. Because obviously the pipeline of UI programmer to designer is not a common one.
It's not a step over. It's
not a very natural transition. So yeah, I think that was like the first probably. Either that or Endos, one of those is probably kind of where I kind of got started a little more on the design side of things. It is interesting. Sometimes I like start playing and like start thinking of all the things that we've done. Like it feels weird, obviously, a game of this size. We were talking about, it's very kind of like it's a collaborative thing. You just cannot do it. With,
just kind of do it.
Yeah, it is impossible. Like it always feels, it always feels almost like a miracle to get like even this.
That we get anything tangible out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much we're gonna comment on what happened last night.
We talked about it this morning. We talked about it. So they know. They know.
Okay, well, it always feels like a miracle when we pull it, and I think we're. I don't want to speak for everyone, but I definitely think like. The general sentiment is like we're all super fortunate to be able to work in such a successful project that is also so creatively free, that really allows us to kind of do crazy things and switch it up all the time.
It brings me back to like just remembering conversations of like I want to do a motorbike Warframe, and then a year later we have Gauss, right? Like you have these like little trinkets of ideas that you think are so far-fetched, but Warframe is so far-fetched that you can make it make sense from an art director perspective.
Yeah.
What's that like?
You know what? I've been blessed in my tenure on Warframe to be concentrating on environments more than
That's
the
true, you're
super
right.
tricky stuff.
I mean, we have some weird environments.
We absolutely do. We absolutely
only
do.
getting weirder.
And the thing is that it all, like the people that work on the project, it all has to mesh together. You know, like we all work together towards a common goal of making this game. And you know, you can't do it without the other people on this stage, and you can't do it without the other people behind the scenes that are, you know, watching from home today. And it's difficult sometimes to come up with something fresh and new and exciting, but there's so many people that are so invested in the project, that if you're stuck, you just have to look to the person next to you and say, you know,
what do you got?
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah.
Like, is this a good idea? You know, ideas come from Pablo, ideas from Kaz, from me, from anyone in the studio.
Corn Warframe.
Corn, yeah, I mean, for sure. I really like that, actually.
We just established it's a far-fetched game, okay? I'm going to keep nailing this home. No, that's a beautiful point. And kind of go back to what we're talking about. First thing you remember working on Warframe, Kaz. I know if we go back to your origin story, it's like one of my favorites of all times because you were part of the community, and you know, we had a relationship in terms of, you know, fan art was out there and all that stuff, and then you're a part of DE now.
Yeah, I did Tenno for a little while, but my first project was the Barrow Katir Kubro armor that the community effectively considers a cone of shame.
Oh no!
It's pretty funny when I saw all those comments. I agree with it though. It's kind of like that.
Cone-esque.
It's
Barrow
funny.
Katir is very
It's
coney.
funny.
That guy's
Yeah.
got cones.
Yeah, he's got cones on cones. And back then, I was off-site for 7 months waiting for my visa, and my only way to communicate with the studio was with emails with Carrie, and he told me how to use Substance Painter through emails.
Wow. That's a long back and forth.
Yep. That was an interesting time, but I'm still proud of that first project.
You should be. No, that's really awesome. Matt, do you remember the first thing?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if it's like, I think one of the really cool things about Kaz's story is that she was part of the community.
Exactly.
You know, like she impressed all of us, you know, with her artwork, and then like just her attitude and all that kind of stuff. And like you were the first person, the first community person to come and work on the art team anyways.
Yeah, no,
Thanks for giving me a chance.
No,
he was on my
how could we not
interview.
though?
Oh, you're Matt. You were the interviewer.
How could we not?
One of them.
Anyways, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to divert from that, but I think it's really a good way to emphasize how important the community is to us as well, because some of you know, the best people, the best, most equipped artists and designers, all that kind of stuff, like the community has all kinds of great ideas. So back to the other point, like if we don't have our own ideas, we can look to the community, because the community has been really inspired by the collective work that we've done, which is super rewarding for me to see anyways. And I'm sure it is for most other people, you know, to get you know, a response from the community that's so positive and so interested in what we're doing. That's pretty awesome.
No, and you're absolutely right. Kaz, I'm pretty sure, was the first person that from the community, like we eventually, like you came to the studio, like you live here now, like there was that whole process. Like,
I live here now.
You live here now, and you lived here for a while, but I'm pretty sure you're the first one that we reached out to.
And I put so much into getting hired here. I made those little void key candies,
That's right.
and the bobblehead too. I made a Captain Vor bobblehead.
I still have it in my office.
Oh, that's
the
where
ones
it
you made.
is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, I have it. I took it. I'm not gonna lie. It's in my office. I'm hoarding everyone's replicas and props. I'm sorry. Although you have a lot. You have like the giant Queller at home, which I would also like, but you don't have to.
No, you can't have it.
But you can keep it for now.
I know. Now she's like, you're never getting this. Taking another step back, Pablo, do you have a favorite thing in Warframe that you've designed so far?
A favorite thing? I don't know. That's kind of like choosing between your children.
What's your favorite child? It better be Jair.
I don't know. Like honestly, it's I think overall, like the magic of Warframe kind of lives and dies, but that like the moment-to-moment gameplay, like that sort of like. I always think of it like you get like a moment where you're almost kind of dancing. You're not even thinking about how you're fighting, and I think the fact that we've managed to make so many things that kind of still can work with that without breaking it, because it's an interesting balance. Yeah, I think in general, like, I don't know about a thing exactly that
You don't want to pick a favorite kid, I get it.
But yeah, in general, like, I think what I feel the proudest about what the team has managed to accomplish is, like, when you're playing Warframe, you know it's Warframe. You know, it looks it looks like nothing else. It plays like nothing else. You know, it sounds like nothing else.
Oh yeah.
So you know, that's kind of the, like, I think that's really what I take the most pride of for the whole team, just in terms of what we managed to make there, and the fact that it's so unique and so its own thing.
What a great answer, Pablo. Goodness. Kaz, can you follow up with that? What's is there something design-wise that you're most proud of that you've done?
Probably just the incarnate weapons, the set that I did.
Hell yeah.
I designed 3 of them and I finished 1 of them, and then the other 2 I gave to members of the weapons team to finish, and they did such a great job. I'm so proud of just that whole set all together. It just all came together really nicely. So the one that I finished was the shotgun, and I'm going to be 3D printing that.
Are you? Going to have it?
Ooh.
Will it transform?
Will it transform? Yeah.
Well, let's see. Let's talk.
See what we can make. Matt, has there been a most proud moment as an art director so far?
Yeah, you know, I was thinking about this morning. I think the thing for me that really resonated the most was the second dream. I think the reason being is not because we were doing, you know, anything super different on the kind of environment art side of that stuff, but just like that was the first cinematic quest that we did, and it really turned the tables or turned the corner for us in terms of what the direction that we were going with Warframe. And I think that a lot of us worked on, you know, more single player games previously, you know, and like campaigns and things like that. And we hadn't really done anything, you know, that kind of level in Warframe yet. And the response from the community was super awesome. Like the response within the studio was super awesome. So yeah, I think looking back, we've done a lot of really great stuff since, but it really kind of struck a chord with me to realize what we could do, you know, and the quality work that we could put out. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I remember when just a few people, I think it might have been like a VIP group for one of the old Tenno Cons. We came to the studio at the office and the theater at the office, and they had us listen to a really early version of the song, and we were like, what is this? It's so different than everything else, and it wasn't finished yet, and it was just, it was so magical, like to hear that for the first time. Just knowing that the direction of Warframe was about to change to something so much deeper, so much more meaningful.
I think the really awesome thing about that was that it made me personally realize anyways, I reacted to it in a way emotionally that I hadn't reacted to, I think, any other game that I have played. You know, and maybe it was because of the personal connection to the project, but yeah, there was just something like the songwriting, like there was so much about that evoked emotion. Yeah, for me, it really kind of flipped a switch. It was really, really quite enjoyable. It was interesting.
Yeah, it was. I remember the development process of it, and like you could feel that there was a shift in the way the entire story was going to go. We're like, we're going to try this really, you know, far-fetched idea and story and emotion that we want to evoke, because our game is very, you know, looter shooter, slashy, like gore-enabled game, and then we're going very emotional. The song was incredible, and it was probably for me in my career, like one of the highlights is just the reception from that. And I know for me, like I'm always chasing that feeling because I want to feel what everyone else felt over again.
You want to feel loved.
I want to feel loved. Love me. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it was a game changer. And, you know, we've done so many quests afterwards, and you know, just continuing that story. And now we're at Deviri Paradox, which is just a wild ride, that one, which you'll see later. We're not gonna talk about it right now, but I have some more nitty-gritty questions for you all. Pablo, I'm gonna go.
Sorry for the killing.
Reworks in Warframe, considering we now have 49 Warframes, not counting primes. We've got bosses, enemies. How do you approach a rework?
It sort of depends. Sometimes, like, we actually just did this exercise, like, literally 3 weeks ago or something. I asked part of the community to look at the usage for abilities and kind of look at, like, the bottom abilities. Because I wanted to consider, can I rework abilities without reworking frames? Just as a way to kind of speed them up a little bit in those reworks. My conclusion was I can't.
A little more involved.
Yeah, once I started looking at some of them, like, some of the lower ones where, like, one of Grendel's abilities was really low, but then if I looked a little bit up, another one of his abilities popped up there, and it started feeling like, okay, well, I can't just change one ability. I have to, like, go in and do the whole shebang. So generally, it's kind of like that. I will sit down and I will play. I guess I can spoil that in the next update. There's going to be a couple reworks for Mag and Excalibur. Small for Excalibur.
And the OGs.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Essentially, I was looking at the starter frames and trying to kind of make them a little smoother for newer players. That's kind of... So, for example, that one is the first time I've approached it like that. Like, I sat down to think, not like how would be the best way to use Mag, but what would be the best to change so that a new player can pick her up right away and play her without it being too complex, right? So, for example, she has that whole shrapnel mechanic that a lot of people don't even notice that it's there, just because there's, like, tiny little glowy things that most people don't, even, like, the description barely mentions them, right? So, so in this case, it was more about that. Like, how do I make it so that someone can just, because she's an awesome Warframe array, like, veterans can play and destroy anything with her. So she doesn't need help there, but she does need help for, like, someone that's just starting the game. So the approach for this reworks was that, like, just how does someone brand new pick them up, understand what they do, and work with them. But sometimes it's more about, like, okay, well, what are the awkward edges of a frame that people don't enjoy playing with? What is it that it doesn't quite work? Sometimes it'll be like their abilities are single target and our game is not single target. Sometimes it'll be like, their energy economy is bad or things like that. So it kind of is very case by case basis, but generally try to look at their kits in more of a holistic way, like how will they play entirely?
Yeah, and I think utilizing stats is important and very cool because, like you're saying, like, not to say that no other Warframes are going to rework. Like you're saying, we're looking at Grendel. Like there's a bunch of Warframes on that list that we're taking a look at. But yeah, you look at stats and you're like, okay, one ability's most used. There's another one. Maybe that means I got to go back in and just kind of like give it an overhaul. So, and I mean, 9+ years of Warframe. A lot has changed in the game, and some abilities just don't get used. Like, we took away Excalibur's jumping because everyone can jump now, like stuff like that, right? Like game changes, so Warframes have to change with it. So I think it's a very interesting way. We're going to talk a little bit about the new war. That old thing that happened in December of last year.
But not some new war anymore.
It's not a new war anymore. It's an old war.
The old new war.
Matt.
Yeah.
So in the life of the new war as we know it, very, spoilers, Narmer-controlled world.
Yeah.
We're now Narmerized, if you will. From an art perspective, what was the process like to turn, our very familiar environments of Warframe into a more Narmerized, sentient aesthetic?
That was fun. Fun.
Oh no.
No, it wasn't. I'm joking. It was difficult in a way and easy in a way. I mean, easy in that we had a very kind of small palette of things that we wanted to utilize to tell that story. Difficult in that we were taking old levels, old tile sets, and then trying to put this element on top of that. And those tile sets were not composed; they weren't created with this usage in mind.
Right.
And so, because the game's so old, because we like to reuse stuff when we can, when it makes sense to the narrative and stuff, we have to sometimes make allowances or sacrifices or look for more creative ways to, adapt those things to work with the new storyline. So That was a bit of a challenge, but we handled it in a way that was similar to anyone who played the game or has played the game from the early days. You know, we had these fire ice infested versions of all of our levels, and we kind of used, we didn't do anything really new there. We just used some of the kind of old techniques and tricks that we had done for that, but then tried to make it work for the storyline in the new war. Yeah.
Was it hard to take, like, if we look at Orvalis being what it is now, like that was an entire, like, just almost, it felt like almost like a redo of the entire world, essentially.
Yeah, that was interesting. Luckily, with a place like the Orvalis, there's a lot of technical stuff that goes on behind the scenes that allows us to do stuff with the visuals that really makes it a lot easier than it could be. You know, it's the same level. You're playing Orvalis, you know, in its regular form, and there's a few little knobs and switches that are flicked, and then you're playing it in the new war form. You know, and same thing goes with PoE. You know, we did a post-war PoE that players have seen, and that was a little bit more heavy-handed. You know, that was
things destroyed.
We had things destroyed. You know, the path that you travel through as call. You know, that all exists there. If you play the early part of the game, you're going to see original PoE, and if you get to the new war and then post-war, you'd be playing that version of PoE. So it was a little more challenging that way, but again, it's that like collaboration of technical design and code and art and everyone working together to try and kind of make that thing happen.
Yeah, that's very cool. Pablo, New War. A lot happened in the New War. Average 6-hour quest. There was a lot that went on in there. One of the common questions that we get when we do kind of those bigger quests are, you know, there's a lot of really fun things in them. You know, example, the New War, we had those cool puzzles, we had archons and stuff like that. What's the process like of taking something that wasn't really meant to be a mechanic and maybe changing it into a mechanic outside of a quest?
I think there were like many, like I know as we were making the New War, there were a lot of conversations about like, okay, well, we're making all this new stuff. How can we then turn it into not something that you just play once and you kind of move on? Obviously, being a live service game, we kind of need to come up with things that have replayability and that you can go back to over time. And, you know, without spoiling anything, you'll see a little bit of that later today.
Ooh, I was hoping you were going to say that.
You'll see a little bit of the fruits of that labor will come a little bit later today. And there's still a few things that we might kind of circle back to at some point next year, because there is a lot in the New War that was left there. But I've you know, a few surprises later today.
Okay, I like it. Leave them wanting more. I'm into it. Still on the New War train, Kaz. New War also introduced a hefty amount of weaponry, also Narmerized, very sentient-esque, of course. A familiar name to many, Liger. They designed the Ravarex gunblade skin, and you kind of took it the rest of the way, kind of like what you were talking about earlier. What's the development process like behind taking a concept like, you know, a beautiful one from Liger and making that come to life in Warframe?
Yeah. Well, Liger did a really great job. They always do such amazingly detailed concepts and don't leave a lot of room for interpretation.
You're just like, okay, I'll do that.
There is still room there, though. Once you bring it into 3D, there's a lot of new problems that arise. When you turn the object, does it look good from every angle? You have to see it from every angle. Does it look good from player perspective, etc.? So there's still room for interpretation there, and that's where I like to put in a little extra creativity in there. It's really fun to work from Liger's concepts, though.
Liger's insane, crazy, far-fetched, but very Warframe concepts.
Yep.
Yeah. Liger. All right, we're going to go into little Angels of the Zeramin chat, shall we?
Oh, man.
Released this year. Finally
I have to get going.
We made it. 9 years later, we get to board this ship. Pablo, where do you even begin to start designing a
not only do I have
game
to
modes, enemies, etc., kind of knowing the importance
do
of
other
what
things,
Zero has in the story?
but
From the start of when we were sort of a lot of the look of it was developed from the new world. Just related to the previous question. But from there once the aesthetic of the Angels was established, it became very clear that.
But yeah, I'm gonna log off now.
So sometimes
I'll be back later tonight with my normal,
I'll say like, hey, we need to do this for
my normal Warframe casual. We'll talk about what I saw at the live event.
But the establishing
hopefully
Angels
I
was very
can
important.
get into the game
I think the first
and not class.
speaking of the Cyber,
But,
probably like
yeah, so
Rhinos.
I want to thank everyone who came out today and hung out. I want to thank
years ago
my listeners
or was it on numbers? I can't remember. One of those.
someone that
Actually, I think maybe in both. Now that
one thing I'll see you next
and anyways, obviously,
the
the
idea of
how the
shadow
Cyber